to South Atlantic Wrestling. I'm Ted Webb, and it is a pleasure to introduce a man who is going to be making his debut as our color commentator tonight, the sensational young talent of the North American Wrestling Association, Mr. Vince Torrelli.
Thank you, Ted. I'm glad to be here to watch some of these exciting matches.
Well, we've got some great ones. You're going to be seeing the Nasty Boys in action. You're going to be seeing Maniac Matt Borne teaming up with his newest stablemate, and that, of course, is... I mean, I'm a little concerned about him joining the stable, Vince.
Well, you know, they look for the worst in everybody, and I guess they found some worst in Luther.
Also in action today, the American Bulldogs are going to be in action. It's a great program. Let's go to the ring. You ready for action?
I'm excited. Let's go. Let's do it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the ring is tag team action from Manhattan, New Jersey, with a combined weight of 486 pounds. Spike and Rexx, the American Bulldogs.
Yeah, you talk about an explosive combination, a fluid team. These are guys that have their eyes set on that NAWA tag title, the American Bulldogs.
Their opponents from parts unknown, with a combined weight of 480 pounds, the Enforcers.
Well, the Enforcers are going to be tested today, Vince, because these guys here are rough and tough, and like I said earlier, they're on a mission as well. We talked about Chris Chavis wanting the belts. These guys here have beaten the Nasty Boys on TV, so psychologically, that's got to get them pumped up, knowing that they can win this title.
Yeah, you know, the difference between these two tag teams is that the Bulldogs have a lot more years together than the Enforcers here.
No doubt about it, and you'll be able to see that too in some of the fluid movement. And there you see Rexx in the ring right now, trying to get this crowd going. The Enforcers, you know, I've often wondered what makes somebody wear a hood.
Well, you know, maybe it's something they did in the past, or they just afraid of what they might do in the ring that might embarrass them, so they put that mask on to make them more secure.
Well, the Enforcers right now being talked to by Byron Richard, your referee for this event. And the Enforcer, of course, complaining to Byron Richard that hair was used. We saw it on the monitor right here that there was no hair. Boy, now you talk about power.
Yeah, he just kind of just pushed him back there like paper.
Well, I'll tell you, it's amazing because these guys here have shown, they've demonstrated week after week how strong they are.
Well, you know, the two of them are very strong. They're in the gym all the time, and I see them pushing 500 pounds on the bench and military pressing somewhere around 315. That's real strong.
And you know the thing, Vince, these guys are young guys. They're young, relatively new to professional wrestling, but they're hungry.
Yeah, they got that hunger.
You're going to be seeing an action War Eagle Chris Chavis today, Dan Grundy, the Maniac Matt Borne, and Luther D. The American Bulldogs right now taking advantage of every minute they get on national television to send a message to the Nasty Boys. Enforcer number one in the ring, barring that arm and then coming down with a thunderous elbow. You know, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the dorsal sac and results in severe injury to many guys that make this a profession.
That's where your training comes in, is taking those and learn how to protect yourself. If you don't, that arm could get broke very easily.
Rexx, American Bulldog Rexx is in there making the tag right now with Spike off the ropes. We've seen this before, a nice boot to the face. And the Enforcers right now not doing much enforcing in the ring, as this one so far belongs to the Bulldogs. Basically what we're seeing right now is the supply of oxygen being cut down to the brain, the blood and oxygen, as well as oxygen is carried in the blood.
Yeah, if he's in that hole too long, he'll lose conscious, and that'll result in the pin. But he let go of the hold there. He got out.
Tag is made. The legal man in the ring right now is Rexx. Knee lift. Beautiful knee lift. These guys do work well as a team, and they have improved. I mean, I remember the first time I saw them in action, and compared to now, I'll tell you, the progress they've made is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Little eye exam and a little back rub being applied by the Enforcer. Rexx right now, stunned, but not stunned enough. Nice arm drag. Going back to that arm, applying the pressure.
He's playing possum there.
And a lot of folks don't understand some of the psychology that is involved in professional wrestling, in professional sports, period, but particularly in wrestling and in boxing, where a man may look like he's wounded, but he's not.
No, it's a way of catching your breath and also catching a man off guard.
Take a couple of licks, it's worth it, because right after that, boom, you're back in business. Dorothy Thompson writing us a nice letter. She says that her favorites, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Vince Torrelli. She watches us all the time in Sumter, South Carolina.
Well, thank you, Dorothy. It's good to have you with our show.
You're watching the American Bulldogs in action right now. Into the ring goes Spike. They're tangling right now with the Enforcers. And so far, Enforcer is not doing much enforcing at this particular moment. Nice kick. That's a bit of something he picked up in the Orient. You can tell these guys have worked in the Orient.
Yeah, that's something different. He does it very effectively.
Nice little old-fashioned mule kick, they used to call it in the old days.
Yeah, and those mules kick pretty hard.
Extremely hard. Spread the word that South Atlantic Wrestling is coming to your neighborhood. Please be watching television and check your local newspapers and radio stations for details. We want to come to your neighborhood. We want to spread the word that when you see the seal of the North American Wrestling Association, you are assured of the finest of professional wrestling.
With this hold here, Ted, that one of the Bulldogs is putting on one of the Enforcers there, is it's separating his shoulders, his arm from his shoulder, and puts a great amount of pressure on his shoulder and arm area.
And I'll tell you, with the muscular conformation that Spike possesses, that's got to be quite a bit of pressure that's being applied there. Very strong men, these Bulldogs are.
Oh, yeah. You got to be to stay with the South American wrestling here. It's just, in order to keep up with the competition that's coming in this area, you've got to train hard in the ring and outside the ring. You can't let down, or next thing you know, you're going to be getting beat all the time. So you really got to get out there and work hard, on and out.
And man, the level of competition has certainly improved here over the last couple of months.
Yes, sirree.
All four men into the ring at the same time. And definitely a little Hoover vacuum cleaning there on the part of the Bulldogs. They cleared the ring, Vince.
They're really hungry for them belts, and right now they're sending out the message to the Nasty Boys and whoever else wants to tag. They're going after those belts, Ted.
I'll tell you, it is a pleasure having you at ringside, Vince Torrelli. I have admired your performances in the ring, and I can tell you that your performance at the ringside tonight is one that merits great credit.
Oh, thank you, Ted. And it's great to be here and be able to watch some of these exciting matches instead of being in there. It puts a different kind of view on things.
Double drop kick. The Enforcers right now are trying to check out the ringside area to see if there's any seats available. Sorry, fellas, sold out.
These Bulldogs are just really giving these two Enforcers here a tag team lesson.
Byron Richard with a count. Byron Richard, a recent survey of North American Wrestling Association referees, came out with the highest grading of 99.6. That says quite a bit about your refereeing.
Oh yeah, you got to be there. You know, this is not an easy thing for a referee. You know, there's a lot of things out there you got to know.
Well, as they say, the ring has four corners and the ref only has two eyes.
That's right. There's a lot of things that go on out there refs can't catch all the time.
You will see that he is quick to start the count and let you know that if you don't make it out by the time the count's out, you're DQ'd.
Oh yeah, that's the way it should be.
Byron Richard, fifth man in the ring in this case. You're seeing the American Bulldogs in action. Men on a mission. The North American Tag Team titles. That's what they'd like to wear around their waist.
They're getting there, Ted. They're getting there.
Got him up for a full body slam. And this is going to be that power slam. Oh, the shoulder buster. Got him into that shoulder buster.
That hurts, Ted. That hurts.
I still remember the first time I saw that applied by Bob Roop, the former Olympian. Greco-Roman wrestler who wrestled in the 1968 Olympics. No one did it better. Got him into that suplex.
Beautiful.
I mean, you're not just talking about your weight, but you're talking about the weight of your opponent that's coming square down. And right now, the Enforcer.
Tag is made there.
Much the worse for wear. Spike, the legal Bulldog, in the ring. You got to hand it to these guys. They're fluid. They keep most of the action in their corner. They stay fresh.
That's the ticket, Ted. To tagging off there to keep each other fresh.
And I'll tell you, if you want to wrestle, they'll wrestle. If you want to go downtown, they'll go downtown with you.
Yes, sir.
Watch this.
Oh.
You, as a former football player, certainly know what a goal line stand is.
That's a knockout, Ted.
Wow. Let's take a look at this again one more time on our slow motion instant replay, and you will see a guy being stopped dead cold at the goal line as the American Bulldogs post another victory on South Atlantic Wrestling. Vince, describe the action.
Well, right here, he shoots him into the ropes. As he's hitting the rope, he shoots his partner over the top rope, which gives him more velocity. And when he hits the guy, he hits him right square in the chin, and out go the lights. The party's over.
Don't go away. The stud stable is right around the corner as action continues on South Atlantic Wrestling.
Another edition of the stable. Again, I got all the guys here. Luther D, I want to bring you in here again and tell you right off the bat how glad we are to have you in the stable, that you got a flawless win record. You're doing real good. What we do want to do, just like you see North American Championship hanging over my shoulder here, you see that these gentlemen right here also donning the belts, baby. The Nasty Boys, our objectives are almost reached, but not quite. We need just a little bit more out of you over there. What you need to do, you got to get a little more aggressive. You got to get in there a little bit, get more aggressive. You got to do a little pulling and turning and pushing, baby. You know what I'm talking about? What you need to do, take a lesson from what you see right here on this shirt. What do you read when you look at that shirt there, boy?
Nasty boy.
You find out it's nasty boy. That's what we're talking about. We want to get nasty. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to reach our objectives now. And what the objectives are is a long time ago when Paul Jones decided he's going to stick his nose in our business. He was going to then become the man of the hour.
You don't have to worry about Paul Jones. I don't care what it takes. I'll wait out the parking lot for Paul Jones. I'll wait out the street in front of his house for Paul Jones. I'll take your guitar and I'll bust your guitar right over his head if I got to.
Don't do it. Did you hear that right there, Luther? Did you hear the man right there? We're talking aggressive. What do we think about the Bulldogs, boys?
You don't worry about the Bulldogs because we're going to take it out just for the stud stable itself. And whatever we do to the Bulldogs is all for you, stud. There's nothing.
Let me tell you something, Robert. You two measly mutts orphan around the ring. You're going to be eating your teeth just because we're so nasty, right, Robert? That's it, Daddy. I want him to sound a little bit like old Bud back on the farm, boys. I want him to yap a little bit instead of all that oof, oof, oof we've been hearing. You're getting in on this? You getting in on this, boy? You got to get in on this. You got to get right with it.
I'm my own man. Don't call me boy.
I didn't mean it.
Okay.
It's a figure of speech.
Okay.
Listen,
okay.
Don't be so uptight, all right? Don't be so uptight.
Robert,
what we want to do.
What you want to do? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like you to sing a song for us and all these people out here. Can you do that for us? I hold that championship.
Well, they're all cheering, man. I guess they're ready for it, don't you?
Do it for us.
Here. They should all stand up. What do you think about Steamboat? What do you think about Ricky Steamboat?
What do I think about Ricky Steamboat? I think he's a no good slant-eyed son of a... Yeah, you know what I mean.
What do you think about Indian Chavis?
You know, I'll take that in and I'll stick those feathers where the sun don't shine. I don't have to say no more about that. Come on, sing us a song.
Okay. I'm about to, boys. Yo, we on the chair. We're the chair right in here. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up in stacks behind your couch.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You're a champion singer. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words or bonds, or the ink stains that have dried upon some line. That keeps you on the back roads by the rivers of my memory till I see your gentle on my mind. Did you get that, redneck? Did you get that, redneck? You stupid couch potato! You're gonna be reaching objectives. People are gonna get hurt. Stud Stable's gonna own NAWA Wrestling. Mark the Stable's word. Yeah!
Attention all high school band and athletic booster clubs, civic groups, police and fire departments. Put the power of America's #1 fundraiser, professional wrestling, and this television station to work for you. That's right. You can raise funds for your group or organization by bringing the stars of South Atlantic Wrestling to your hometown. For more info, call area code 704-362-2994 or send a self-addressed stamped envelope to South Atlantic Wrestling, P.O. Box 221269, Charlotte 28222. Stay tuned for more info on South Atlantic Wrestling coming to your area. Family from Her Majesty's Court, Jacko Victory.
You know something, people? A lot of you people came up to me last week and said, where's your partner, Rip Morgan? What are you guys breaking up? No, the royal family's not breaking up. You know, when you do a job and you do a job real good, you deserve a little time off. Rip Morgan happens to be one of the toughest, meanest, stinkingest wrestlers in this territory right now. So I said, Rip, why don't you go and jump on a plane, take a little time off, go to New Zealand, visit your family, and I'll take care of business right here. Now later on today, I'm going to dedicate this one for you, Rip. And I'm going to teach this boy the royal lesson.
You're trying to tell me that the reports that we read in the newspapers and some magazines of a possible split up of the royal family are grossly exaggerated, Jacko Victory?
Like I said, Mr. TV announcer, and I use that Mr. very loosely, Rip Morgan deserved some time off. The royal family's in full strength. Now getting to the North American territory, there's a lot of things heating up here. Ladies and gentlemen, sit in your tables, sit at your tables, pop some beer, watch your TV, because there's a lot of things heating up here. And when it all clears, the royal family's gonna be standing right there. And boys, we go every day to the offices of the North American Wrestling, and we throw contracts down, and everybody's running, hiding. We don't want to wrestle the royal family. We don't want to do this. Well, pretty soon, it's going to be time in a place very soon that you're going to have to face the royal family.
Now, are you insinuating that perhaps the NAWA Tag Team Champions, the Nasty Boys, have been trying to stay out of your way?
It don't matter if it's the Nasty Boys, the Bulldogs, the Stud Stable, the royal family's coming at you.
Now making his way to the ring from Pittsburgh, North Carolina, weighing in at 272 pounds, it's the War Eagle, Chris Chavis.
And Chavis enjoying a lot of support here in his native state. He is certainly a fan favorite and a man that is on a mission. He's facing a toughie tonight in Dan Grundy.
His opponent from Greensboro, North Carolina, weighing in at 275 pounds, Dan Grundy.
You know, Grundy's a guy that is making his home in North Carolina now, but originally from Chicago and a diehard Chicago Bear fan. And you certainly have to compare the tactics he employs in the ring as those of the Bears, the monsters of the Midway.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a big guy. Just look at him. Chris himself is a huge man, and the two of them look like they're going to be a pretty good match here, Ted.
I'll tell you what, I like Chris Chavis a lot, Vinny. We've talked about him over and over and over again, and the tremendous improvements that he has made. And I can tell you that it's just a matter of time before he gets a lucky break and is wearing a strap. If not the NAWA Heavyweight Championship, perhaps one half of the tag team title.
Oh, yeah, just look at him. He's a specimen. He trains in gym hard. He works hard in the ring also, Ted. And somewhere down the line, he's going to get his chance. And when preparation meets opportunity, that's what you have.
Grundy, a guy that doesn't mind bending the rules from here to here. In fact, there you see him being blocked, and into the corner he goes, and tomahawk chop right across the throat.
Oh. He's mastered that tomahawk chop there.
Great arm drag kick, actually a hip lock. Got him up for a body slam, and you know that Grundy's no little guy.
Strong man, that Chris Chavis.
Grundy, an excellent ring general, going outside right now to take that little breather that you talk about, Vinny.
Well, you know, you may not like the tactics of some of these guys, but, you know, whatever it takes to win, you know, I don't approve, but the NAWA does have rules, and obviously these guys are somewhere in a line of staying within those rules, and, you know, what can we say?
Dan Grundy wearing the black trunks and the purple War Eagle, and you saw a picture of some of his fans that have come out here today to cheer him on. They are behind him 100% there. Grundy, paying attention to what was happening outside the ring, finds himself in a side headlock. This is a powerfully built man, and you can tell that it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the gym to look like this, doesn't it, Vince?
Yes, it's you know, with professional wrestling, it's not just in the ring. You know, you gotta get in there and learn the wrestling and do all that other stuff it takes. But you know, you also on your off time, man, there's no rest with professional wrestling. You're going 24 hours a day.
Ted Webb and Vince Torrelli ringside. South Atlantic Wrestling, the best in professional wrestling. When you see the seal of the North American Wrestling Association, you know that you're in tune to the best.
This Chris is really giving Grundy here a work it over.
Yeah, Grundy won't have to go see the chiropractor after this match, I'll tell you. Uh-oh. There shows some of that inexperience of the War Eagle, Chris Chavis.
Yep.
That savvy ring general led him to believe that he was hurt worse than he was, and then moved when that big elbow came down. And a thunderous forearm to the back of the head.
Well, Van Grundy's a big man. We lays those forearms in there. They hurt.
You know, they say that when you talk about the difference between a punch of a light heavyweight and a heavyweight, they say that a heavyweight's jab is equivalent to a light heavyweight's punch.
Yes, sir, Ted. With those lightweights, they throw so many punches that 10 of them knock you out. But a heavyweight hits you with one, you go down.
Good night, Irene. Turn off the lights, the party's over.
And these guys are heavyweights.
No doubt about it. War Eagle tipping the scales at between 260 and 270. Nice sunset flip has Grundy. 1, 2, Grundy powering out. Your referee for this event is Ron Hanna. You know, we got to thank the crew, Vinny, because they've done a tremendous job. Look at this. You are in the ring with those guys.
Oh, you feel the blows.
You are there. You don't just hear them, you feel them. They vibrate. You're there sitting in your living room watching this, and you, my friend, are placed right smack dab in the middle of the ring. There's that forehead into the turnbuckle. And even though the turnbuckle is padded, there's steel underneath those babies.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, Grundy's got Chris here on the back, walking back on his heels. But, you know, Chris is a strong man, and he's going to have to do a lot more to him than this.
Well, you just saw Chris War Eagle Chavis finding the solution, the antidote to getting his head rammed into the turnbuckles. Let's see if Grundy knows an antidote.
Like we were talking earlier about playing possum, you know, sometimes you just don't know when.
Wow. He landed on that knee.
Almost stuck him on his face that time.
He really did. Grundy may be stunned, but that knee is hurting, and there he goes into that war dance.
Uh-oh.
And we all know that it's just a matter of time when you see the War Eagle go into the war dance before he goes to the big one, the crucifix souffle, as you call it.
Oh.
Across the throat, Dan Grundy.
That's very effective, Ted. That chop is something else.
Man, I'll tell you, it's, you know, you could feel it from here, and there he goes. He's got him up there in position for that crucifix souffle, and here it comes. Oh. 260 pounds. He hooks the legs. This match belongs to the War Eagle, Chris Chavis, as Dan Grundy becomes another stepping stone on his way to the title.
Chris is Chavis, the War Eagle, is definitely on his way. He's a powerhouse.
Let's take a look at this one on slow motion instant replay. Describe the action, Vinny.
Well, he picks him up here in a rack, and as you watch, when he goes back, his whole body lands on his rib cage and his stomach area, which basically knocks the man out. Watch this. All of his weight right there. Look at that.
Wow.
On a normal man, Ted, that would break his ribs.
No doubt about that. More action will continue as the Maniac, Matt Borne, is next on the menu. This is South Atlantic Wrestling with Ted Webb and Vince Torrelli.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next action is tag team action. Now entering the ring, Luther D, at 270 pounds from Columbia, South Carolina. Also his partner from Dallas, Texas, weighing in at 245 pounds. It's the Maniac, Matt Borne.
And it should be interesting to see what these two guys can do as a team. We've seen them individually. Let's see how they team up. They're going up against Bo Ragin and David Isley, and Bo Ragin looks like he's ready for a little desert fighting.
Their opponents from Concord, North Carolina, weighing in at 230 pounds, David Isley. David's partner from Manning, South Carolina, weighing in at 228 pounds, Bo Ragin.
There you have it, the Carolina connection of David Isley and Bo Ragin. Ragin, North and South Carolina represented. I am interested in seeing how Luther D and Maniac Matt Borne work as a team. I know several weeks ago we saw Maniac Matt Borne teaming up with Cowboy Bob Orton, and the chemistry just wasn't there, Vince.
No, well, you know, Maniac Matt Borne is, you know, with the stud stable, they only watch after their own, and since he's part of the stud stable, they might just work together, you know.
Well, you saw Maniac Matt Borne giving a little instruction to Luther D, wanting him to get very aggressive against Bo Ragin. Ragin's a great competitor, teamed up with you on many matches, and I'll tell you, memorable moments in wrestling.
Hey, he's got a great amateur background, and he does very well here in the pro. He's outstanding. He knows where he's going, one move after another, and he's there.
Well, he's given up a weight advantage to Luther D, but I certainly believe that the speed advantage is on his side.
Yeah,
and strength is about even.
Yes, I would say that. I'd say that this would be quite a competition here.
Both wrestlers in a test of strength, checking each other for leverage and balance. And don't count Bo Ragin out yet.
Oh, beautiful.
Don't count Bo Ragin out yet. I've seen him in action too many times to say that this one, you know, was a loss. Whoa, what did I tell you, Vince?
Yeah, he's got the drive. He wants to win, Ted.
And of course, Matt Borne going into the ring to give some assistance to Luther D. Nor would it surprise me if other members of the stud stable would be somewhere within listening distance.
No, Ted, they are. They are. If anything goes wrong here, I'd hate to see what happens.
This Luther D's a big guy, Vinny.
Yeah, he's real big. Well, you know, the stud stable tries to pick the best out of everywhere, you know, to make their team stronger. But, you know, Ted, there's one thing wrong with that, is that righteous rules. Somewhere along the line, it will overcome the stud stable, I believe.
Last week, Paul Jones occupying the same seat you're sitting in right now. We were talking about the offer made to you by the stud stable. And I said, I have to respect Vince Torrelli because I saw the contract. I saw the figures, Vinny.
Yeah.
And it was staggering. And let's face it, it's going to be a while before you're able to put that kind of money into your bank account, but you put your friendship, your pride, and you put your morals above anything else.
Ted, you know, I was taught from Paul Jones, and Paul Jones is an excellent teacher, and he's done changed his ways to the other side here, and with the money that they offer me, I'm not going to sell out my fans or my manager or my family or myself. Money just doesn't mean that much if I've got to win it that way.
Well, you can see a little friction here between Luther D and Maniac Matt Borne. Borne obviously not pleased with the amount of punishment that Luther D was applying and said, this is how you do it, see?
Oh, yeah.
Giving the clinic, he says, now you try it. Now you try it. It's like a mama eagle trying to teach her little nest how to go out hunting for food.
Well, you know, I hate to see this Luther go that way, but everybody's has got their own opportunity to go where they want to go, Ted.
You know, somehow I get the feeling this guy is a loose cannon, so to speak, his own man. And if I were Maniac Matt Borne, I would not be pressing my luck. The tag is made, and Bo Ragin is now the official man into the ring, applying the pressure on that left arm.
Yeah, they're really taking charge of this. Luther had him on top, and he made the tag, and here comes Bo Ragin. Oh!
Boy, Bo looked like he was ready for some desert duty with that outfit he came in, huh?
Oh, hey, you know, with the colors, Ted, you know, some wrestlers wear up bright colors because it you know, colors make your mood. And some wrestlers, they wear those colors out there, and it gives them a little more fire, you know. It's been proven that colors will change a mood. Oh, boy.
Oh, we might have a little problem here in the ring. Luther D refused to uncork on Bo Ragin. Bo broke loose and popped Maniac Matt Borne. And knowing the Maniac like we know him,
something's going to happen, Ted.
Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Tag is made. Matt Borne raking the eyes of Bo Ragin. Getting out of the ring perhaps a bit prematurely to Matt Borne's liking is Luther D. There's that big foot to the midsection. That takes the wind right out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Ragin looks like he's got a lot of fight, and he's upset Matt Borne.
No give up in that Bo Ragin. I'd like to take this time to thank the people in Mooresville, North Carolina for watching our show. Lynn Adams and his wife and the people at the gym. Thanks for watching.
All right. We also want to say hello to Richard Beelan, who is with People Against Drugs and AIDS Infections in South Carolina and in North Carolina, Parents for a Drug-Free Youth. John Crowell, who joined us in the show last week, and a man instrumental in Project Grad, which certainly has helped the youngsters of both North and South Carolina.
That's great, Ted.
Matt Borne firing away. and David Isley begging to make the tag. Referee for this event, Byron Richard. He's got his hands full. I'll tell you, anytime the Maniac is in there, Bo Ragin. Bo Ragin's showing that there's still a lot of gasoline left in that system.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Beautiful drop kick. Caught him square on the face.
Well, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. This Matt Borne, he doesn't have any give up in him either, so you got to kind of watch him because he could pop back any time.
No doubt about it. He could take a lot of punishment. We talk about how brutal and sadistic he is in the ring. One thing we should mention is the guy can take his share of a licking and come back ticking, full strength.
Yes, sir. We don't approve of his tactics in ways, but he's a winner, Ted.
Well, you saw David Isley trying an ill-attempted drop kick, fell and hurt himself, and finds himself now the victim of the Cobra. No. The Cobra, the Python, depending on where you're at, they call it differently. It's a variation, an oriental variation of the sleeper hole. Professor Tatanka, perhaps the best proponent of this 20 years ago. This match is all over. This match is all over.
Oh, boy.
This match belonging right now to Luther D. and to Maniac Matt Borne. Oh, I'll tell you what, these guys are tough, Vinny. Yes, sir. You can tell right now that this is going to be a formidable combination. Luther D. and the Maniac Matt Borne victorious right now. And the newest member of the stud stable needed a little bit of prodding. He certainly was not responding the way that they wanted him to, but nonetheless victorious. Don't go away. One half of the Royal family is up next. This is South Atlantic Wrestling. A fella that's going to be, well, a couple of fellas that are on the path right now looking for a shot at the North American Wrestling Association Tag Team Championship. And we're talking, of course, about Spike and Rexx, better known as the American Bulldogs. Woo!
How you doing, Ted?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, gentlemen. You know, we certainly are. We are following your career very carefully and know that it's just a matter of time before you get the break. You've beaten the Nasty Boys on national television. You know you can do it. Your fans know you can do it. Your fans want you to do it, and I know you want to do it.
That's right, Ted. We've been waiting for this a long time. We've been preparing ourselves, and the only problem is, you see, the Nasty Boys underestimate us. We can beat them. And now that we got this title fight, we're going to do the best we can. And we got these great fans behind us. Yeah, that's right.
Rexx, you've got to be extremely excited about this opportunity to go into the record books and being titled a champion.
That's right, Ted. Spike and I are very excited about it. But you know something? The Nasty Boys are leaving us with an impression that they feel that they can beat us at any time. But we proved on national TV that we beat them 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring. And that was no fluke. Now, Nasty Boys, you're not only facing the Bulldogs, you're facing all these fans because they're right behind us, 100%. So it looks like to me you're outnumbered, Nasty Boys, because the more people we got out there behind us, the more support we got. And that makes it 1,000 to 1.
You know, it's noted that when you wear the championship belt, there is prestige, there is money, but something tells me that the Bulldog quest for the title goes beyond prestige, and it goes beyond the bounds of money.
Yeah, that's true, Ted. I mean, look at us. Wouldn't them belts look good on us? Come on.
I must admit that they certainly would.
But you're right. It means a lot more to us than money and prestige. It's pride, because we pride ourselves in being champions. Our dreams and our goals are set around being champions. So whether it's the first thing or the last thing we do, we want them belts around our waists, because it's been a long time. We've been working real hard. So Nasty Boys, polish them belts up, because the Bulldogs and all these fans are going to take them belts from you.
We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next exciting match on the evening, weighing in at 277 pounds, from the Queen's Court, one half of the Royal Family, it's Jacko Victory.
Well, after talking to Jacko Victory, he dispelled the rumors that there had been a fallout between he and Rip Morgan. He says that Rip earned a vacation and he's taking it. That remains, of course, to be seen.
His opponent from Columbus, Georgia, weighing in at 225 pounds, Tom Atlas.
Tom Atlas Atlas, a great specimen of a man. Here's a guy that spent some time there with the barbells, wouldn't you say, Vince?
Oh, yeah, he's got a great physique on him, and he's a good wrestler also, Ted.
Vince Torrelli and Ted Webb ringside. This is South Atlantic Wrestling. When you see the seal of the North American Wrestling Association, you can take it to the bank, babe. You're going to be seeing the best in professional wrestling, and it's going to be coming to your town soon. Referee Ron Hanna calling for the bell. Jacko Victory, who I must admit has not been as impressive as a single as he is with his partner Rip Morgan. And they say that sometimes what happens, Vince, is you built up this sense of security, this blanket of having your partner there in the ring, and when things get rough, you can always go make the tag. And in the matches that I've seen him without Rip Morgan, he certainly has had that longing for a partner in the corner, and he hadn't been there.
Yeah, Ted, some of these guys tag team for a period of time. When they get him in a move and they look back, there's no one there.
One half of the royal family, and what an awesome combination they are. Jacko Victory and Rip Morgan in there against Tom Atlas in the red trunks. Atlas, a great competitor, a guy with 1,000 miles of heart, Vince.
Oh yeah, you know, he's a young kid, and he's trying to break into this, trying to break into the ranks here in the North American Wrestling. And Jacko Victory, of course, we all know is a veteran and been around a long time.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's an alley cat. You know, he's had his share of brawls, and not a bad wrestler. Here's a guy that can wrestle, and another guy that you wonder why. Why does he take the shortcut? Why does he have to bend the rules and break them like he does?
It's easy for him. It's easy for him, Ted.
Flying lateral body press.
Yeah.
Takedown. And Tom Atlas right now trying to get momentum going on his side.
Well, see, Ted, this is where you're going to see a young kid with lots of strength going against a veteran and with some pretty sly moves. And we're going to have to see how this one turns out.
277 pounds, Jacko Victory, certainly with a weight advantage, certainly with the experience on his side of the ledger. But we cannot underscore the fact that he is wrestling as a single and does miss his partner, Rip Morgan. Right about now, he'd be in the corner tagging with Morgan if this were a tag match.
Yes, and also you got to remember also he doesn't have that tag team to where he can tag and get a breather. And here you got this young kid here who's in shape. Great shape, Ted. And you know, you never know what happens if he keeps him going for a long period of time. He could pull this one out.
Let's see if endurance or experience is the key factor in this matchup. Well, you can see an example of the strength that Atlas possesses.
That hurt, Ted.
No doubt. You can see Jacko Victory grabbing his jaw. He went face down into the canvas. He goes again.
That's strong, Ted.
Well, I'll tell you what, they'll be calling him Gauguin if he spends much more time on that canvas.
It's about ripped his arm out of there.
Yeah, that works not only on the face as you saw him grabbing, but that shoulder socket.
Well, there it is, Ted.
That's that lack of experience we were talking about, Vince.
Yep.
And if you could look out there, you will see that that is pure concrete. When Tom Atlas landed out there, there was no mat.
That's 6 feet, 7 feet, Ted, from the middle of the ropes to the floor.
Wow, Vince. Full body slam on the concrete. Full body slam and then a couple of boots on top of that.
He's hurt, Ted.
Yeah, you have to concern yourself right now with the well-being of Tom Atlas. And you can see him clenching his rib cage. You know, people don't realize the punishment that you guys take in night after night after night. And if you're not in the best of physical condition, I'll tell you what, that could be lethal.
Oh, he goes working on that back.
That's the sign of the veteran.
He's picked out a body part, Ted.
The law of the sea. Look for the weak minnow. That's a theory that's applied in football as well, isn't it, Vince?
Yes, sir. You attack the weak spot, and he's definitely created one.
No doubt about it. You saw that Tommy Atlas had grabbed his rib cage, and his back had been hurt. And he right now is stunned. You can see that those reflexes are not what they should be, though I am surprised at the authority that those punches are packing.
He wants to climb up that hill. He's hungry, Ted. But
yes, sir. Into the monkey flip. And he's hooking that leg, but now you're going to have to do a little bit more than that to a veteran like Jacko Victory if you want to get the count of 3.
Yes, sir. He needs to work him over more now, Ted. That's
He's having problems from the top rope. Having problems from the top rope, landing right on the midsection. And remember, he is wrestling with sore ribs right now.
Oh.
And Jacko Victory wasting little time.
Ow.
Wow. rolls him over. 1, 2, 3. This one belongs to Jacko Victory, one half of the royal family from Her Majesty's Court. The winner. Let's take a look at this one on instant replay, on our slow motion instant replay. Vince, if you would be so kind as to describe the action as we're seeing it at home.
Well, you know, he's just worked his lower back over and also the midsection. What he's going to do is a reverse slam. He's going to get him in a vertical suplex here, and he's going to bring him straight down with his weight and his onto his midsection and his chest, which knocks the air out of here, and he rolls over, and 1, 2, 3.
Ronnie Hanna sounding the count of 3, and this one belongs to Jacko Victory. Don't go away. We are going to be in for a treat. A true American hero. Ranger Ross is up next on South Atlantic Wrestling.
Now entering the ring from Athens, Georgia, weighing in at 238 pounds, it's Ranger Ross.
Why, at a time when there is so much tension in the Middle East, and you know that there are certain Rangers out there patrolling the desert, protecting our freedom, it's great to see Ranger Ross back home. A true American hero.
His opponent from Morrisville, North Carolina, weighing in at 235 pounds, Rexx.
Why, there's not enough you could say about Ranger Ross, Vince. You know, you take a look at a guy that in the Army was the All-Army Wrestling Champion, Greco-Roman, and a guy that is an expert in the martial arts. I mean, this guy could kill you before you could sneeze, you know?
Yeah, Ted, he's definitely well-equipped there for the ring, but that's not the only thing. He's got a great personality, and he loves his state.
No doubt about it. Loves his state, loves his country.
Yes, sir. America is his home.
He's a hero. I had the opportunity to be down in Georgia on the 4th of July when they threw a bash honoring him, the VFW. And I'll tell you what, they love this man down there. They know what he's done for the country. Involved in the Grenada invasion, involved in the assault on the embassy in Tehran when they were trying to rescue the hostages, and the guy that patrolled the jungles of El Salvador. He knows what combat's all about, and he's got that attitude, he's got that determination, and he's not scared of anything, Vinny.
Well, after you've been through that, what more is there to be scared of, Ted?
Well said, my friend. Ted Webb and Vince Torrelli ringside. South Atlantic Wrestling, the finest in professional wrestling. Mike Rexx landed Ranger Ross square on the back of his head and back.
Once, but not twice, Ted.
That's it. That's it. Coming down, trying to wear down the Ranger. I can assure you that boot camp was a little tougher than that, Mike.
Oh, yes.
These guys love pain. Watch yourself, Rexx. Boom. How well do I know thee?
Oh, he thought he was going to be there. He went up and nobody home.
Well, I tell you what, he's going to open up a can of worms here if he wants to play at Roughhouse with Ranger Ross, because Ross can go downtown with you.
Well, with Ranger, you know, in order to beat this, whoa, nice move. Nice move.
Savant kick. Hooks the leg, 2, 3. It's all over, Vince.
That was beautiful.
It is all over. Ranger Ross is the winner. Referee Byron Richard raising his hand in victory as we take a look at the slow motion instant replay. Please describe the action as you see it now.
My pleasure. He shoots him into the ropes. He does a forward cartwheel. Rexx leapfrogs him, and he just goes up and straight kick to the chin. Out go the lights.
Vince Torrelli describing the action as Ranger Ross proves to be victorious. And I tell you what, it's been a tremendous program here tonight. I can tell you that the balance of power has been tilted at that with the addition of Luther D to the stud stable. A move that, frankly, I am disturbed by, but I can understand. I saw the contract that was offered to Vince Torrelli. Joining me right now, Paul Jones, Vince Torrelli, my partner tonight, and War Eagle Chris Chavis. And gentlemen, I think that the balance of power has shifted here in South Atlantic Wrestling.
Well, you know, Ted, I want to let these men talk because I want to finish it up because I have something very important to tell the people.
Well, Ted, you know, the stud stable. I mean, what can you say about it? I mean, these guys are running around thinking they're controlling everything, thinking they're taking over the South Atlantic Wrestling. Like I said before, long ways before they do that. Again, I'm 100% 100% behind Paul Jones, 100% behind Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And me and Vince, if these guys ever interfere, when Ricky or Paul Jones are gone, we're going to be there for them. And Stable, you better be ready, because me and Vince are fired, because all you're doing is running your mouth, and this Indian's definitely on the warpath. Nasty boys, especially for you, and you too, Fuller.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Vince, that all of the action will not be on the gridiron this year. It looks like wrestling in the North American Wrestling Association, South Atlantic Wrestling is going to be in for its fair share of firepower.
Well, you know, Ted, I'm real disgusted with the stud stable. They come out here and humiliate all these fans. They come out here and talk a big talk. But let me tell you something. When you get in a ring with Paul Jones or Ricky Steamboat or anybody else, and any of you guys step in the ring that ain't supposed to be there, you can count on one thing. You can count on everybody else that's back there. Me, Chris War Eagle Chavis, Bo Ragin, any of those guys. If you step in there, any of you guys not supposed to be in their stud stable, you can count on one thing. We're backing Ricky Steamboat and Paul Jones all the way to the hill. And let me tell you something. If I ever get a chance to get my hands on any of you, you better take notes.
You know, Ted, these two men right here are being modest. Not once did they mention their #1 goal. They're not selfish men, but their #1 goal is, and Fuller knows this, is that belt around your waist, Fuller. The top contenders for your belt are Ricky Steamboat, Chris Chavis, and Vince Torrelli. And any given night, one of these men will be wearing that belt. Now, Ricky Steamboat has informed me anything I want, anything that he can do to make our team stronger, to fight fire with fire. And I'm talking about Matt Borne, and I'm talking about Robert Fuller. If we need help, you heard these two men back here said they'll stand behind us. We don't need to pay them. We don't need to have them sign a contract. All we have is their support. And, brother, with that, we're bringing it to every arena that we come to.
See you next week. Thank you for joining us.